Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dev, aka the Unknown Variable here, back at you with another commentary. And today, let's talk about how, if done right, XDefiant can siphon off a lot of disgruntled Call of Duty players from this year's Call of Duty release. So I'm going to break this video up into 4 parts and have timestamps on the video for anybody who would like to skip ahead to whichever point interests you the most. So starting at number 1, we have transparency. So I've talked about this on the channel before, but XDefiant is led by Mark Rubin, a former Call of Duty executive director at Infinity Ward, and he's extremely active on Twitter and actually responds to the fans of the game. Now, I just want to state that Mark Rubin was involved with Infinity Ward back when they actually listened to people and didn't block people on Twitter for saying anything bad about their game, but that's not the point. He's always active giving updates in regards to the development of the game. An example I can use is when people in the first XDefiant beta were voicing their concerns about the netcode and hit detection, Mark was quick to hop on Twitter to let everyone know that a fix had already been made regarding this issue. Now, that's just an example I like to use. There's plenty of other examples. If you go over to Mark Rubin's Twitter, I'll be linking that in the description. You can see him replying to fans all over the place. And transparency is something that Call of Duty and many games in general are missing heavily today. All right, so point number 2 is they listen to community feedback / wants and needs. This already began way before XDefiant was ever even done being developed. The team over at XDefiant made this game for people that wanted a COD experience like the old school games. They've spoken heavily on the removal of skill-based matchmaking in public matches. They've made their multiplayer with a mini-map that has actual red dots. Could you imagine that? They brought back fan-favorite weapons such as the M4 and ACR, and to this day on Twitter, they are still listening to community wants and needs, and I have no doubt that if things such as maps, weapons, etc. aren't to the community's liking, they will adjust those things too according to player feedback. An example I can use for them listening to community feedback / wants and needs is a simple fact that I made a video on this, but they're actually adding a classic prestige system to this game. So there's people that have been in this community that have wanted a grind, something to work for, a classic prestige system, and Mark Rubin and the team over at XDefiant have been listening to you and are planning to add a classic prestige mode to XDefiant after its release. Now, this third point here is personally one of my favorite points of the whole video, and I know this is going to be a controversial topic and there's going to be people that are going to have some feathers rustled in the comment section, that aren't going to be too happy about this point, but there's no BR. And to me, that is such a good thing to hear. I got so tired of playing modern Call of Duty and seeing that all of the developers' time went to appeasing the Battle Royale crowd. And don't get me wrong, this is not a slide at the Battle Royale community when it comes to Call of Duty. I understand Warzone is popular. I understand you like your BR games. Me personally, I've never understood the hype of loading up into a plane, jumping off with 100 other people, landing in one area, getting RNG loot with a bunch of RNG gunfights and third-partied garbage, and then dying in, 4 or 5 bullets from full plates, and then on top of that run around for 20 minutes. I don't understand that. But my issues aside with Battle Royale, the fact that XDefiant isn't going to have a BR mode, to me, is one of the greatest things they could have announced, because that means that 100% of their development time is going to be spent in their multiplayer, something that Call of Duty should have at least split with. But no, Call of Duty spent 99% of their development time appeasing the Warzone crowd and leaving the multiplayer fans to deal with an unfinished mess year after year, and that won't be the case with XDefiant here when it releases. So my last point here is put at the end because I think this is one of the most important points of the entire video, and that's that they have crossplay. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, I don't want to play against PC players. You can toggle crossplay off. But I think the more important point here is that you have old gen PS4 and Xbox One. So they are making this game, XDefiant, for the PS5, the Xbox Series X and S, the PC, and the old gen PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. If this was a game made strictly for PC like SM2 was supposed to be, then I could see the argument for this game not being able to pull off the significant amount of players from a game like Call of Duty. But the simple fact that they are going all in and making sure this game is available to everyone means that this game can appeal to everyone regardless of if you have a current or old gen console. This will mean big things for the availability of the game and the player count numbers as a whole. All in all, I'm extremely excited for the eventual release of XDefiant and plan on playing it exclusively once it releases, since Call of Duty has nothing to offer me anymore, and I think a lot of fans of this series are in the same boat. Call of Duty doesn't offer them anything anymore. It's just a pile of garbage. Nobody really enjoys it, and they are desperately looking for an alternative, and I really sincerely hope that XDefiant provides that alternative we've all been looking for. But how do you guys feel about this? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button, comment for the algorithm, subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you never miss when I upload a video, and I'll catch everybody in the next one.